The Sharing Space
on the Clement Manyathela Show.
702.
All right, time for the Sharing Space, 25 minutes before 12 o'clock. This is an opportunity for us to share our stories, whatever they are. No judgment. Anything that's happened at work, in the office, with your partner, while you were on holiday, or while you were driving to work. If you think it's interesting enough to share with the 702 family, please send me an email on cm@702.co.za. It can be light, it can be serious. Anything goes, as long as you're sharing a story and you want to know what the other listeners think about it. Or you're asking for advice, because some of you do contact us for the Sharing Space saying, this is my situation and I need advice from the listeners. So it's very easy. Share your stories with us on cm@702.co.za. We can keep you anonymous. And let's have a conversation about it. Maybe you need advice. You don't know what to do with a situation that's facing you with your partner or your friend. Just write to me. Today, we've got someone who has written to us. I think, Anonymous. I can't say the name. Yes, Anonymous has written to us. So I'm going to read the email that I received from this person, and then afterwards I'll take your calls and your WhatsApps if you've experienced something similar or you have some sort of advice for the listener. So here we go. Hello, Clement. I would like to remain anonymous, please. I would like advice on a friendship issue. I have a friend I met in 2014 at university, and we became very close. Over the years, she has gone through many challenges financially. There were academic and personal challenges as well, and I was always there to support her. However, I eventually became emotionally and mentally drained, especially as I was also dealing with my own struggles. So I started distancing myself. We recently reconnected, and she has since experienced multiple losses in her family, ongoing conflict with her siblings, and is now struggling financially. She also has another child. She had another child during the time we were not in contact. It feels like one challenge after another, and she clearly needs support. However, I don't feel I have the emotional or mental capacity to support her right now. Would I be a bad friend if I chose to distance myself again? Please, can you ask the 702 listeners for advice, please? Okay, Anonymous, thank you so much for sending us the email. Okay, so just to recap, Anonymous has a friend. They met in 2014. At university, became very close, but during that time this friend was facing a lot of challenges, and clearly she was sharing them with Anonymous, and Anonymous says, I just eventually felt so emotionally and mentally drained, right? Because Anonymous also had their own struggles they were dealing with. So they've recently reconnected, and the same thing is now happening again, because Anonymous at the time distanced herself. And now it's happening again. And Anonymous is asking, should I distance myself again? Or should I just try and be with this friend? Because the friend clearly needs a lot of support. But Anonymous says, I just don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the emotional or mental capacity to support her right now. What is your advice for Anonymous? Would she be a bad friend if she chose to distance herself again? Should she just stick around and be a friend to this person who clearly needs a lot of support, a lot of emotional support, but Anonymous simply doesn't have that? Please, let me know your thoughts. Give us a call on 011-883-0702. You can send your WhatsApps as well on 072-702-1702. I'll share my advice for Anonymous after the break.
A safe space to share. The Sharing Space
with Clement Manyathela on 702.
19 minutes before 12 o'clock. All right, I'm going to your calls and WhatsApps now. We got an email. I read it to you. Anonymous just doesn't have the emotional and mental bandwidth to support her friend right now because she's going through her own issues, and she's asking if she would be a bad friend if she were to distance herself again. And Anonymous, my advice would be that maybe try have a conversation with your friend. Maybe try explain to her that you've got so much that you're dealing with and you also equally need support. Because I think the sense I'm getting here is that you are not getting the support you're giving to her. Because she also doesn't even have the capacity to give you support because she's constantly going through something. There's challenge after challenge and she needs a lot of support to the point that you can't also lessen the burden when you are stressed. You can't even speak to her about your issues because you feel she's already handling so much. So I would say have a conversation with her. And if you feel distancing yourself, it's good for you, your mental health. Also perhaps consider that because at the end of the day, a friendship has to be mutually beneficial. It can't be that the next person just takes. And there's another person who just gives. What do you say? Your WhatsApps on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Clement and 702 Land. Anonymous should walk away. This just never ends. It's just an ongoing saga, and it drains you emotionally and mentally. Been there, done that before. There is no reward in it. Walk away, girl. Walk away. You're not a bad person. Also, you cannot be pouring from an empty cup. Just put yourself first and walk away.
Hi, Clement. Hope you're well. This is also Anonymous here. I've been meaning to send you the same kind of scenario. I mean, the same situation. It's tough. I love my friend very much, but at some point I felt like, you know what, you must also drop it because it becomes too much of a burden on your side. I don't know. It feels like it's one-sided, especially financially. I don't know. I'm also confused.
Hi, Clement. I think for both the sake of Anonymous and her friend, she should actually end the friendship because I don't think Anonymous has the capacity for what this particular friendship entails. So it's not fair on the friend to think she has support when Anonymous knows full well that she's not able to. I think a friendship can't just be for the good times. So for both their sakes, I think she should rather just not force this friendship at all.
Hi, Clement. This is Pindi. I think Anonymous is so unfair because, you know, life is karma. So some things can be challenging. It will happen to her as well. And she will expect the very same friend to assist her. So life, we just need to be there for one another. And she just need to be honest with the friend and then talk to her friend how she feels. Not just dump her. Because life is karma.
Yeah, I suppose that is a fair point. That next time it could be you, Anonymous, who needs help from a friend. The difference, though, here is that Anonymous says this friend is just going through so much. And she herself is going through so much. And she feels like she doesn't have much to pour from. So what does she do? What do you do when you have a friend who is constantly just draining you? You know those friends, there are also those friends who are always complaining. Oh, every time you're on the phone, they complain about everything under the sun. There's never a moment of positivity or looking at the brighter side. Everything, the world is coming to an end. It's doom and gloom. Or those friends who are constantly being toxic about everything. They want to gossip. They want to speak bad about people. What do you do in situations like that when you feel your energy is drained in that friendship? When you don't feel you are being cared for like you are caring for them? Do you not distance yourself? Do you try have a conversation with a friend, which I think must be the first step before anything else? Try speak to her, because you never know. Maybe she doesn't realize that. And you want to make her aware that, just be aware that I've got my own issues as well that I'm dealing with. Some of the WhatsApps, texts that have come through. One says, Clement, Anonymous must look after herself first. She's no good to the friend if she herself is not in a good place. She's done her best. The friend must seek professional help and stop the guilt trips. And then another one says, hi Clement, support is not only financial. We don't know the future. Anonymous might need her later in life. That's a message that's also come here on the WhatsApp line. It's 13 minutes before 12 o'clock. After the break, more of your calls and WhatsApps.
The Sharing Space
On the Clement Manyathela Show.
702.
Hey, it's going up to 10 minutes before 12 o'clock. Let's go back to your WhatsApps on 072 702 and 702.
Good day, Clement. Anonymous. She says she no longer has the capacity to support a friend. She needs to be honest with a friend. I mean, she's also a human being. If you're well where you normally fetch your water is dry, there's nothing you can do. She needs to sit down with a friend, be honest with her, because really she can't force. Otherwise, she'll end up being depressed. She needs to tell a friend, we're all going through a lot here, and we need to be honest with each other, Guma friendships. Thank you. Do hear from Togoza.
Hi, Clem. It's TK man from south of Joburg. A very interesting conversation today. From experience, anecdotally, it's a race to the bottom. It never gets better, both from a friendship point of view and even from a relationship point of view. And unfortunately, the doer of the deed rarely sees their errors. And should you confront them, you may very well be met with defensiveness and or not even being able to accept. And you end up being hurt. Unfortunately, it's in the nature of some people, unfortunately. Although legitimately there could be issues that one may need support for, but the behavior for me, Therefore, I'd say I walk away, girl. Walk away. Thanks for a great show, Clem. Cheers.
Hi, Clement. Anonymous, I would say he or she has to walk away. This is it's now a burden, you know. If it gets to a point, this is no longer helping. It's more of a burden. It's more like a burden. So I think she has to nicely walk away from this friendship. Yeah, that's the best decision. Unfortunately, it's good to help, but it shouldn't be like that. You know, it shouldn't get to a point whereby people take advantage of someone's kindness. You know, it happens a lot in life.
Hi, morning. It's Mapari here from Rediport. My advice to Anonymous should be she needs to be a good friend. This is why this phrase, when days are dark, friends are few, came from. Because now you live in a poor person who is in dire need for your support, and you have to try to be there. You have to try to be there, because you might find that there is people in your life also that are saying that I don't have the capacity for your problems, but they're still holding on because they're a good friend. Just do that. Just be a good friend. As simple as that. You'll find strength in being a good friend.
Good day, 702 listeners. Good day, Madam Nature. Yeah, Madam Nature, I strongly believe I would like to remain anonymous. It's a two-way street in the friendship. It's a two-way street. And it's coincidental, especially for this one, that always when there's a need for money, she remembers this friend. My advice would be to Anonymous, just support her, be there for her, maybe show her ways on how she can come out of it without her having assisted her financially. Maybe sit down, ask her to show you her budget and everything, maybe try to rework her budget and see where she could start coming up with the money that is going to save herself instead of always saving her.
Oh, Some text messages are also coming through here. One says, "Hi Clement, I'd like to remain anonymous, please. I'm dealing with a similar situation where a close family member is unemployed and constantly leans on me emotionally. Their conversations are always negative, mostly about her relationship issues, and it's becoming mentally draining for me. I feel bad because I know she's struggling, but it's getting to a point where I avoid her calls, especially during work hours. I just don't know how to support her without losing myself in the process." You see, and this is what some people are experiencing. I'm sorry, if you've got a friendship that makes you feel like this, then it's not benefiting you. If you've got a friendship where you feel someone is constantly nagging and complaining to you, they don't have time to hear your issues. Every time you finish a conversation with someone you regard as a friend, you leave that conversation exhausted, emotionally drained. That is not a friendship that benefits you. So what's the point of holding on? But I think it starts with having at least a conversation with that friend. How about that? And that's my advice to Anonymous. Try speak to her. Make her realize that she's really draining you, and you acknowledge and respect and support her in her challenges, but explain that you've got your challenges too and you'd like her to also come through and support you. Let's wrap up with these voice notes.
Hi, 702 Landers. Look, just to Anonymous, you don't need to feel bad about what you're going through. Your emotions, your issues, your life also matters and comes first. No one else is going to be able to deal with your emotions and your problems better than you can. Supporting your friend, it's all good and well, but you cannot, like one of the previous callers said, you cannot pour out of an empty cup. And it will be unfair of your friend to expect you to overexert yourself or overextend yourself just in the name of supporting them when you are also going through quite a lot. Whether it seems like it's little to them or anybody else, it's a lot for you right now, and you need to take care of what you're going through. And if you guys are true friends and true sisters, the friendship will still last. She'll just need to understand that at a certain time you were going through something and you needed to focus on your healing while she too was going through something. And also, guys, other problems do not need you to be supported by everyone and everyone who loves you. Sometimes you need to go through your own struggles yourself and come out stronger and better.
Hi, Clement. On this issue of Anonymous, I think Anonymous hasn't told the full story. I feel that maybe it might be that the friend is not also emotionally available. Remember, giving a person support, it doesn't mean that you have to have finances or anything like that. You can be in trouble and have a lot of issues, but also be able to support others as much as you need support from them. So I just feel that maybe Anonymous feels like this person is just a trainer. Some people are just trainers. They just want you to help them and feel pity for them without them offering anything. I've had friends who had a lot of issues, but they were also still dependable to me, and I was able to get help from them, whereas they are also in trouble. So yeah, I don't think it's reciprocal. What's the word? Yeah.